Hello, I'm McDonagh from STAH Group, and today I'm discussing drug and alcohol management plans and how they're a critical tool to protect organisations and people from the ravages of drugs and alcohol in the workplace, crippling our society and the fabric of our community. Stay tuned and hear how HR managers, employers, health and safety representatives can take control of the situation with fair and justified testing. STAH Group, a comprehensive drug and alcohol management plan for your organisation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you everyone. 3.5 years Screening and Site has been going for now. It is fantastic that we're growing. I'm very proud to see the expansion because unfortunately we are still in clear and present danger with the current drug epidemic. It's getting worse, not better. So my business is evolving with that and we can tackle everything now. Unfortunately, Australia rates second in the world for illicit drug consumption. This is from the Australian Criminal Intelligence Authority there, and the National Wastewater Drug Monitoring Program has been going, it's in its 3rd year. So for the first 2 years, these are the results. We're in our last year. By December, it would be February by the time they would after we get the final results, but these are scary statistics. So if we have a look, you can see the solid circles, the rings. The rings are for the regional areas, the solid circles represent our nation's capitals. All right, now this is just alcohol. I'm just going to go off the bottom line because that's the maximum they've found, and this is from 50% of the Australian population, our wastewater treatment plants. They are taking samples and analysing it with universities. It's industry, world best practice too, so we can rely on the statistics. We're on 2,000 drinks per 1,000 people per day in Australia. Yeah. Aussie. Hey? All right, 2 drinks a day. Now, if I went the median, which is halfway, it's a drink per person in Australia. Is that having any effect on our well-being and the hospital strains and so on? The effects on our nation are huge. Heroin, still a big problem. You can see 300 milligrams. Now I like to round things up and make life easy. You can turn it to grams and kilos. By the time I factor this out, at 1,000 people, we've got roughly 25 million in Australia, give or take. We'll work on that number, it's nice and easy and round. That works and equates to around 7 kilos. All right? Almost a day being used. This is horrific. MDMA, better known as ecstasy. I'll just go back. Have a look at Sydney in New South Wales. A lot of policy comes out of that district, doesn't it? I'll move on. MDMA, ecstasy, Tasmania and Darwin, 2 gateways to Australia, our major ports and so on. Let's think about that. Really big use. It's 800 milligrams. These equate out to kilos a day. I'll show you the mass in a moment. Cocaine. Interesting. Eastern Seaboard really ranking it up high there again. Go Canberra. 800 grams a day. Pretty scary. Well, I'm not too sure about that. Marijuana, been around for decades, we all know and hear about it. 53,000 milligrams per 1,000 people a day. All right, this equates to 1,325 kilos going up in smoke a day. Unbelievable, folks. And this is my pet hate, methamphetamine, better known as ice out there, the one ripping apart our nation. I'm going to round up by, not very much, 2,000 milligrams or 2 grams a day per 1,000 people. All right, times that out, it's about 50 kilos, all right, for the population. This is really scary, people, and this is the problem. It is killing people, destroying how they operate, how they think, and ripping apart families. So proud to be doing something about it.
Where's caffeine?
That's not rated, so it is a drug. It affects how we operate, so it's quite interesting. Methamphetamine and cocaine. 9 tons of methamphetamine alone they're estimating used for the year. All right, from the wastewater. This is a proven fact. 50% of our population, or 56. So let's double it. So when I say 50 kilos a day, it actually equates. You do the 9 tonnes divided by 365 for our mathematical boffins in here. I'm pretty well on the money. All right, I've doubled it because they're only testing half of Australia. $9.3 billion is what we're wasting on drugs and alcohol. So that's coming out of the economy. Where that money goes, up in smoke basically, or up someone's arm, it's horrific, or they smoke it. What could that do for the betterment of our community? Business, families, our healthcare system, would that help everywhere? 100%. So how do we tackle the problem? How do you stop it in your workplace? And there's only one way, a comprehensive drug and alcohol management plan. As you can see, the elements are there. And we cater to every element now. Screening on Site's been around for a while, a trusted company doing the testing, but we couldn't supply everything on here, employee assistance programs, because we hadn't developed it yet. And I've been working tirelessly over the last 3 years. It's always been the plan to be comprehensive. We're getting there now. So who can you call? STAH Group. That's what we're about, making sure a comprehensive plan is obtained. Screening on Site, our old family favourite. You know, we do the consultation, the risk management and knowledge of business that helps me embed systems to companies is fantastic. Our policy has to be comprehensive, reduce industrial relation issues, and it tackles the intricacies of what drugs and alcohol create in the workplace. It is not easy. If you do not have it written up correctly, you're up. They're going to challenge you, basically. Our analytical reports, brilliant. At the end of the day now, our clients can go on our dashboard and see the testing and have graphs to represent who's been testing and the outcomes. They can back check that with their return on investment. Really important. You can't always see it because we only have to save one accident. That's not reported, but that could be a death. How much is that worth in a business? A cost. And will insurance cover you if you're on drugs with no policy? Not a hope in hell. Our regimes, we tailor to every organisation, pretty simple. So Screening on Site, still going strong. STAH Education, a linchpin now for what we do. Policy educates, it's very important. But without a comprehensive education package, we're not really getting the message out. Alcohol we've been educated on it for decades now. And I'm happy to say, we've found 3 instances of people under the influence at work in the 3.5 years of testing. That shows the awareness is out there. But there's nothing on drugs. So with my educational background in the vet sector, adult education and RTO land, we're writing these things now for e-learning and looking forward to releasing them out there to get the message out nationally and educate people, wake them up to not even try the ice. The scary thing about ice, 5 uses I've heard, is onset Parkinson's disease. We've got some serious problems in our nation. The STAH program, the new jewel in the STAH Group, we can offer the assistance program, as I mentioned earlier on. We're tackling the substance abuse and people's ability to tackle life challenges. It's very interesting. Reducing barriers, using clinical and contemporary techniques to help people with their issues and life problems. And the techniques have a 90% success rate. We've got back data to prove it. It's fantastic. And how do we help? What are the conditions we tackle? They're there on the board. The interesting thing, drugs and alcoholism at the bottom. They're the least of our worries to contend with, quite frankly, because the depression, anxiety, stress, and all the other conditions are the key problems people are dealing with. If we help them there, we find that the drugs and alcohol slip to the wayside. They're basically forgotten about. They don't even want to know about it. So tackling some of the core personal issues people are contending with is the crux of dealing with the problem. The Ice Age breakfast, folks. This is a paper that came out from Business SA. 2% are on ice right now at work. That's pretty scary. All right, and it's probably more because they've only tested in the high-risk areas. All right, there's a massive amount of testing needs to be done to get really good statistics. So, for safety, productivity and morale within your organisation and strengthen workplace culture, family and community, you can rely on STAH Group because we are a sustainable solution with a comprehensive drug and alcohol management plan review. We are there to supply the testing, awareness and help. That is the essence of STAH. Any questions, folks?
How do you get the help to the staff?
Help, well, once with the policy is the first thing, identifying you have an issue. Once we know there's an issue, with the employee assistance program, we put the staff through that. And that's where we help them with those conditions. We go through and talk through things. There's a questionnaire. There's a criteria to even meet to become an instigator of the STAH program, because by being an instigator, you are initiating that change. You are taking that positive step, and that's what we're about to do and help. So, critical point. Please.
Do employees have to sign an agreement when they first are employed to say that they're prepared to take drug and alcohol testing, or can you just come into any organisation without policy or procedure being in place?
Excellent question. Critical. Policy must be, everyone must be inducted basically.
Yeah.
I do not rock up to organisations and go surprise. All right, they have already consulted with me, and the first thing I ask is, what does your policy say? Do you have one? If they don't, I'll supply them one. Comprehensive 14-page document to tackle all the intricacies. A one-liner or half a paragraph or half a page doesn't cut it in this day and age. So you must be comprehensive. They must know about it, read it, or had it read to them. Either sign on or sign a toolbox meeting to say, yes, I have received, read and agreed to the policies of the organisation. Basic induction encompasses that now.
Just one last question from Mark.
Please, Mark.
We were renegotiating a contract with a transport firm that we look after with 150 trucks.
Yep.
While I was in the meeting, I said, do you do drug testing? And he said, yeah, we do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I'd like to get our guy in.
Thank you.
Is there any way of getting you in? He goes, oh, well, I'm licensed to do my own drug testing.
Yeah.
How do we approach someone like that?
Good
to
question.
Give you a referral?
There's pros and cons there to test in-house or use an external provider like ourselves. We indemnify you straight away because we take the risk of the testing, following the Australian standards and so on. In-house is prone to nepotism or backhanders perhaps, letting things slide. And so the integrity, I don't put my business on the line for anyone. It is critical we follow that. And that's one of the aspects where we take away that risk for them. And we are mobile so we can be everywhere for them as well, which makes it interesting.
Guys, let's thank Mario for his presentation.